Hey, we are live. We are live. We are live. Hello, everybody. Good evening to those who are in South Africa. Good morning to those in North America and Jamaica. It's 11 a.m. right in Ntando? Is
It
it
is.
around
Yep.
a.m.? It's probably, I don't know. Good day to some other people in other parts of the world. My name is Bongeka Mhlongo, and I just would love to welcome everybody to yet another installment of the Full Color Leader Series conversations. I'm quite excited about our conversation today. I have just an amazing woman who I'm so privileged that she actually said yes, to just honor this time and just share with us some of her ideas and thoughts and just her experience around this digital content creation space. Just to maybe give context around what is the Full Color Leader series. So the Full Color Leader series is really an extension of my book, Thinking in Full Color. And I really created the book. I mean, the whole tagline of the book is multicolored ideas for conversations. And I really created the book as a platform for us to have conversations that transform us, that heal us as a society, that challenge us, that grow us. And I wanted to immortalize the full color idea. So this platform has allowed me to meet the most amazing people from different parts of the world. So, and explore various topics. And today's topic is also just one of those where we are talking about digital content creators and their role in shaping culture. What an interesting topic. So yeah, I think to everyone who's joining us in the different platforms, thank you so much. You can pop us a question in the comments, in the comment section, or say hello to us. And I'll also just share details around how you can order Thinking in Full Color at the end of our talk. So I will get into it because I want to make sure we do justice to the conversation by first just welcoming Ntando. Ntando, hello. How are
Ah,
you?
good day, self.
I'm good. How
Hey.
is it that side of the world? You in Jamaica, right, today?
Yes, I'm in Jamaica. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
Mm,
It reminds me a bit of South Africa in a
okay.
way, but it's good. It's good. It's really good. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for inviting me. It is absolutely my pleasure. I am more than ecstatic to be here. So thank you so much for including me and thinking of me. You know.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Cool, Ntando. So maybe before we get into the meat of our conversation, so your name is Ntando, right? But you have an interesting surname, Ikemba. Am I pronouncing it
Yeah.
properly? So I'm like, okay, Zulu name or like, well, South African name, but interesting surname. So, to people who do not maybe know you yet and who haven't been exposed to your online presence, maybe you can give us a bit of background of who is Ntando Ikemba.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so weird because this morning on my YouTube was asking me a question. They were like, why do you have an Igbo surname?" So Igbo is is a clan in Nigeria. It's
Yes.
a tribe in Nigeria. So I married
Mm.
an Igbo man. So the surname
Oh,
Kemba is an Igbo surname. Originally,
okay.
or my maiden surname is Ngama. I am
Ngama.
from Ngama.
Mm.
Ntombela Ngama, and I'm from KZN. And weird enough as well, people don't know Ntando, they know Usamke. So
Ah.
my second name is Usamke or Samkelisiwe, and my
Mm.
first name is Ntando Yenkosi. So when I moved, when we relocated, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to reinvent myself. I'm just going to be Ntando Ikemba. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
how I became Ntando Ikemba. But it is still me, but it's like
Yes.
a new me altogether. But it's still,
Yes.
yeah, it's just a
It's
name.
still your surname. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I'm
That's
from
interesting.
Britain, and yeah, that's that. And I don't know whether you want me to like give you a bit of back.
Anything that you would like to share with us, yeah. If there's anything more, whatever, if you feel comfortable sharing with us about yourself, yeah.
Okay, so I'm Ntando Yenkosi Samkelisiwe Ngama. Ikemba now from KZN. I'm from the South Coast in KZN. Well, near Margate. I'll just say I'm from Margate. I studied fine arts in university, and I'm a creative. I love creating. I just anything that has to do with creativity, whether it's sewing, whether it's knitting, whether it's anything that has to do with creativity, count me in.
Wow. Yeah.
That's probably another reason why I got into the YouTube space, because I create something. I always thought, Tuguti, I'm not a good storyteller. Like whenever I forget some of the content. So I was like, you know what, let me just do content creation. Yeah. I am a wife, I am a mother, and I am a child of God. So I'm just blessed. Relocated in 2021 to the United States. And currently we're in Jamaica because of family matters, but we're based in
yeah.
Content creator, and
yeah.
I decided to create content just to document my journey moving from one continent to another continent, and you know, relating to people who move and sharing my story, basically. So that's
awesome. I see we have Spogazi Pele who said, "Boy, did you reinvent yourself, Sam?" Hi, Spogazi. Thank you for joining us.
So much for joining us. I know her. That's yes, I did. But it's still me. It's still me.
Yeah, but obviously, if you went to school, you know, with somebody, or you grew up with them, and you known them using a particular name for so long, and then you know they emerge with a different name or a different thingy, people can be like, oh wow, you know, wow, thank you for that, and then just giving us the context, especially, you know, as sometimes Zulu people, and to those maybe who may not know what KZN is, it's KwaZulu Natal. It's a province in South Africa, the best province. I'm kidding. Before they attack us. But yeah, so you know what? Before we get, you know, digital content creators and their role in shaping culture, it's a very big, nerdy topic. You know, we were just talking about that. But I want to maybe start with a quiz. And I think what I love about just playing a quiz, and the audience can also chip in here, whoever's joined us. I'm going to read out a question to Ntando, and then give her the 3 options, and then she would need to say which is the correct answer. And then we will launch into more of the meat of the conversation. Nah? So, are you ready, Ntando? Yeah. All right, cool. All right, the first question is, when was YouTube founded? When?
Okay.
When, the year. Is it 2000 and number A, is it 2005? B, 2010? Or C, 1997? And the audience can answer as well. But people at home, don't Google.
Because it's not fair. It's not fair. Let me think.
A, 2005. B, 2010.
I would say A, 2005. I say 2005 because I'm thinking in 2005 I was in primary school, so it can't be it was before that. Nah.
If we had confetti, we would have done it. Okay. All right. Question number 2. Then, which of the following platforms has taken the world by storm and is often associated with trending video content and dances and influential content creators? Is it A, Instagram, B, TikTok, or C, LinkedIn?
TikTok. It has to be TikTok. It has to be TikTok. Like, I mean,
Girl, you on a roll. You're on a roll here. All right. All right. And then question number 3. What do you think is the primary role of digital content creators in how they shape culture? Is it A, to reflect existing culture and usher us into new ways of becoming as humans? B, ignoring societal standards and trends? And C, doing exactly the same thing as traditional media has always done?
It has to be A.
It
has to be A. I mean,
you're in a row. You're on a roll. You're on a roll. So we have 2 more questions.
Okay.
It's definitely gonna get 5 out of 5, guys. We
always
been of chocolates in Jamaica.
I've always been an outstanding student, so I'm joking. Right. I'm joking.
I'm fine. It's fine. How we love to hear it. All right. Question number 4. What is one of the most significant ways in which content creators generate income? Is it A, government gives them money, government grants? Is it B, they have to sell a lot of physical products? Or C, it's via brand sponsorships and adverts?
Brand sponsorships and adverts. Even the way you said it, it was like, this is a ridiculous answer. And then the last one, you're like, by brands sponsoring, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, I need to stop giving out.
That's to be.
All right. And then the final question. What role does authenticity play in the success of digital content creators? Is it A, well, it's not important at all? Or is it B, it limits their creative it limits your creative options? Or is it C, it is essential for building trust and connection with your audience?
I think it's very essential, hey? Like, genuinely, I think it's extremely, C is the answer. I think it's really, really genuinely. Like, you don't want to be somebody else. And, it have to be authentic. You have, take it or leave it. This is me. I mean, obviously, you have to filter yourself as a human being. You can't, but being you is very important. You're special. Just, give people who you are, and a lot of people are very like accepting of that. We're human, and we're just the same. We have the same needs. So I think C is the answer. Just
ma'am, you just got 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5, 100%.
Number 5, Mambo. Number 5 was it?
100%. Pam, param, pam, param, pam. That is so incredible, because at least then we, as we launch into this, I think for me, I wanted, I think I mentioned to you, Ntando, that your one of your videos popped up on YouTube. I think it must have been the culture shock of being in the US. And I think because Zulu and I'm Zulu, the way you were explaining the stories was, I was just laughing, and it was so brilliant. And I think to your last point, you were so authentic. It didn't feel like you were trying to put on a performance. You were just sharing with us your experiences, and which is part of the reason why I wanted you to be part of this conversation, right? So in your most simplest maybe definition, how do you define content creation?
I think content creation is the middle. It's the center where an idea and audience meets, and it's for entertainment, it's for advertising, it's for discourse, discussing podcasts, theater, like different perspective, blending of cultures, just explosion where I have an idea and I require an audience and I ship something to you, and it's either you can relate or you don't relate to it. So it's on the internet basically, because that's basically where we all meet these days, like even with being here, a lot of people either can relate to me because I'm this side, and they feel like, okay, this is still the person that I knew, or maybe it's not, because Mina, my story is not even that deep. It's just me moving to a new place. So it's just literally my daily life in the US. So it's like, okay, is this person still relatable, or is it like a totally different person? So you just ship something and then people decide whether they can relate to you or not. So you just different ideas, just engaging. And certain people, it could be advertising, as I had mentioned earlier on, have like a particular niche, or like you have like like how some people say, I do lifestyle, or I do
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
so mine is just, existing in a new space. So content
Wow.
is like where, the audience and the creator,
Again,
and yeah.
I love that. That is so. Oh my goodness, that resonates with me so much. And in fact, this whole concept of shaping culture. I mean, we called our topic today "Digital Content Creators and Their Role in Shaping Culture." One of my favorite just thinkers in the world is a gentleman called Ola Shori, and he's Nigerian, but I think he lives in the States as well. And he always talks about what culture shaping is. And he always says that culture shaping is about coming up with ideas that influence how we live, how we love, how we work, how we play, and how we die. And he says that every time your idea shapes one of the falls into any of your brackets, you must know that you are shaping culture in some way, because that is the brackets that unite us as human beings across the world. So the way I love how brilliantly you it's literally where content creation is where an idea meets the audience, and it's about the exchange of, depending on what the audience is wanting, and that and I think we are seeing the surgence and the growth of content creators and influencers, because I guess there is this incredible value that is now being placed on them. What a brilliant way to answer it. And I guess I'm curious. I mean, you spoke about in your introduction, even when we were just in our call, that you're a creative at heart, right? And I'm curious around what made you get into the content creation space and say, what, I'm going to put a camera, I'm going to record myself. What was your thinking process that led you to have the channel, for the fact that I even know you because you decided to put yourself out there?
Okay. I love that question because it makes you think back, like, why did I even start this, and how are we even I think I told you, I think maybe I mentioned it. I always thought that I'm not a good storyteller. Like, there are people who are good at telling stories. You can sit down and the way that the story will be like, I always thought I'm not a good storyteller. So I thought, because I want to document, my journey moving to the United States, moving with my family to the United States, I want to document that in the tiniest things. If you watch my channel, you'll notice that at the beginning I was also just talking about snacks. I was sampling
I
snacks.
remember.
And
I love that. I love that.
Simple
Yeah.
life. Like, this is okay. So now I have to try and find snacks that I like, because that's how we live. We have certain that mean home to us. And it was almost like, now I'm being removed from this South Africa, and I need to try and find myself in this new space. So I just wanted to journal that. I wanted to also look back, like, if I think of today and how far we've come, since then. It's like, wow, I have found isinkwa that I like, I have found this and that I can say, okay, if I'm in the United States, this is what I like, and if I'm back home, this is what I like. And
Yeah.
I like chicken licking, my own definition of chicken licking in the United States. So
You
you
found it.
document and that's the reason why I started my YouTube, because I wanted to have like a portfolio that says, this is what happens. And if you're an artist, we always have an exhibition,
Mm.
a body
Mm.
of work. That for me was going to be my body of work, like something that I can say. If somebody says, what do you do? I'll be like, this is what I do, just when you watch somebody's journey, you change seasons, you change even with the editing, you want to make sure that you really work on your art. So that for me
Mm.
was like the creative aspect of the whole thing, where I just wanted to grow in it, but also just have something that I can say is my portfolio as an artist, because it is an art.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
that's my journey.
Sure. Um, I think, it's always so incredible when I watch YouTubers, especially the ones who create a body of work that, as you say, there's a body of work. You're right, because there is a story that you're telling, or there's a message you're reflecting. There's a platform. Different artistry use different kind of platforms. Um, and I've always just been curious when people document their stories, right? Even though, and I remember speaking to a friend of mine about this, Ubuti. I got into a season, which is maybe part of the reason why your page popped up, where I never used to be a person who watched vlogs. I consume so much YouTube, but it's mostly been like I watch a lot of I listen to a lot of conversations. Like I dive into a lot of podcasts and a lot of conversations. But then I got hooked into vlogs. But I have particular people that I like, you being one of them, and then there's some South African ladies, and then there's other ladies who, and particularly South Africans who are in other countries. I really love hearing their experiences, and it almost makes you so grateful for your country, because they are also so authentic and real about, guys, South Africa is a great country.
Right, it
We
is.
are realizing it when we have left. Almost all of you guys have that consistent
It is.
message
It,
across.
it,
I'm curious, Ntando, around vlogging, ne? And I don't know, I was like saying, if I would love to do further research around what do you think it is about vlogging, or that we enjoy so much? Because if you think about it, like sometimes a video will be starting, somebody is just brushing their teeth.
right.
And then somebody's like, oh, so today I've decided, what, I'm going to just get a few groceries and my husband and I. But we sit and are consuming this. What is it about this that is so appealing? What do you think psychologically has happened to us that I actually want to watch Dando with her kids, sometimes saying, baby, I'm trying to record, but I want to watch them.
I have no idea. It reminds me of the show Big Brother, where they would have the cameras on, but people were asleep. But you'd have people who would wake up I've seen it. The fact that I've seen it tells you, Guti, I did watch a portion of that.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know, because I have to have an answer. But
Yeah.
I find myself watching. It's called a mukbang, where they eat a mukbang. I think it's called mukbang, like where so there's a niche also where people eat. You just listen to eating. There's also ASMR where it's mostly sounds, and
Okay.
I don't know what it is about human beings, but we do sometimes we're just into the weirdest things. Because yesterday I was watching somebody pop a pimple, and I was just sitting there, and I was this is so weird, but I was watching it, and I don't know what it is, because I also watch vlogs, but I think it's nice to see other people living their lives, and trying to relate and see how much of the person how much of what the person does you also do. You know, I structuring that
Mm.
sentence well, because sometimes, you know, when you watch somebody, like you're talking about being able to relate to somebody,
Yeah,
you watch
yeah,
people that you can relate to, people who are authentic. If you
yeah.
watch somebody who's not realistic, after a while you're like, you know, I need something that's real. There's actually a lady in South Africa
Mm.
that I'm also really into watching, because
Mm.
she's the realest person, you know. This one
Yeah,
day, I'm not going to mention her name. This one day, you
yeah,
know, she was cleaning, she was mopping, she just
yeah,
threw her on the floor, and then, you know, she what come you mop, and then she wiped
yeah,
it because she was in a rush, you know. Those
yeah.
kinds of, to realize we're just human beings, and sometimes
Just
do
same. Yeah.
it's okay to be human. So
Mm.
I can't exactly say what people enjoy, but I think being able to relate and watching
Wait,
somebody else, like being
yeah,
real, we need that realness, because sometimes it's really
yeah,
like, you know, like, so
yeah.
just the
Simple.
authenticity that we, you know, we,
Yeah.
I think that I personally think that's the reason why we watch vlogs, because, you know, you watch somebody also on a journey, because
Yes.
if you watch somebody from 100 subscribers to like 10,000 subscribers, you see the
Journey.
it's
Yeah.
what
Wow.
it's nice to watch certain things grow. I'm not going to be too long because I can really go on and on and on, but I think it's
Yeah.
just for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him, Mhlongo. He said, Batung Sam, so good to see you. And then down there, he was like, hi, Molebs, hi, Candy, hi, Lens. And then Usihle is like, Ubutanda is in Bonge. That's why there's an element of truth to that. We do love, I don't know, I guess maybe there is an element of seeing what other people are doing. But I also think I agree with you, Iris. I think we are in the authenticity revolution.
Right.
I think that is why so many um, underdogs are rising.
Right.
I think for the longest time, the revolution in the world was that of celebrities, and
Right.
but celebrities seemed almost unattainable, like they were too perfect.
Mm.
Whereas seeing Ntando, just like with her kids and doing normal stuff, it connects you. It's like, oh my god, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I relate, yeah.
And uqinisile usihle ukuthanda iy'ndaba, siyazithanda iy'ndaba. You know, siyazithanda iy'ndaba. You know, what your
Yeah,
point is really, really, really a big one, yoguthi,
yeah.
celebrities were just too high up there. It's we need, like, it's social media and content creation is so accessible, you know,
Yes.
and so
Mm,
because
mm,
you'll be
yeah,
at night, you know, you should be going to bed, but you'll be watching
yeah,
people living their lives, because you
yeah.
want, okay, these people do this in this part of the world, or these people just exist like this. Oh, this person has a pimple today. Oh, now we have a number. So, like, we are human beings, and
Yeah.
we want to relate to people, because sometimes life is so harsh. It's almost like you can't make mistakes, but you realize by seeing abantu that you grew up
Mm,
with, and people who are just, you know, normal people, it's possible. Hence, you
yeah.
find brands also approaching relatable people, because
Yes.
they also
Yes.
do a great job. It's almost like when you are watching TV when you were younger, you were sitting there thinking, how can I make this Coca-Cola advert better? And now you give an
Mm,
opportunity to do
sure.
that as a normal person. So it's amazing to watch. It really.
Wow. Sure. And I think let's talk about, even I love what you said about social media has made things so accessible. I mean, I consume so much of YouTube. I hardly watch television in terms of mainstream television unless I'm watching a show with like family or friends.
Right.
But I'm so grateful for you to YouTube. And I see Ulens is saying YouTube is live. There's something for everybody.
Mm.
Um, what's your thoughts around these incredible content creation platforms, because they enable the fact that we even know we can sit in this conversation, Dando, is because of YouTube.
Right.
The fact that we can even have the conversation is you have YouTube, you have the streaming links like StreamYard. What are your thoughts around other platforms, your TikTok, your WhatsApp? around their role in how they enable content creators to shape culture?
I think each platform is offers a certain, I mean, it's still social media, it's still a lot of engaging, but it's different in its approach. We all know that on Twitter, there's an audience there that appeals to certain people, and then when you go on Instagram, it's more images, aesthetics.
Yeah,
And if you move
yeah.
to TikTok, it's more playful. I
Mm,
think it's really amazing, because when you think of TikTok, I'll just mention TikTok on this point, because if you think of TikTok, a lot of things go viral because of TikTok.
mm.
Like, for example, Jerusalem. Jerusalem.
Yes, the
I mean,
song. Yes.
from South Africa. I think when we moved to the US, the Jerusalem dance was popular, and people were singing it a lot. And Burna Boy appropriated it, so he made his own
Mm,
version of Jerusalem, the song. So it became more popular because it
sure.
was by somebody who is more. I'm not gonna say more. I don't want to make it seem like
Was
who
quite influential in the
quite.
world. Yeah.
And
Mm,
most people didn't understand Uguti. After a while, people didn't know Uguti it was a South African song.
yeah.
But because of the beat, and people are dancing, it sort of like intertwines cultures, from different parts of
Mm,
the world. And you find that a lot of people, become engaged in dance, in the whole, aesthetics of music, culture, and then it just all explodes. I just think that's really, really amazing.
yeah.
There's quite a lot of music. I'm a piano. They have a lot of these challenges, or a lot of
Yes.
uh,
Seen those.
dances.
Mm,
Atlanta. So we're in Atlanta, right? In
yes,
Georgia.
yes. Mm.
Everyone loves Amapiano. It's
Wow.
Amapiano. It's just everyone.
It's
There's
big.
there's actually a club. I don't go to that club, but there's a club. I have nephews that go to that club, that
Mm.
plays Amapiano every one of the days every week. So it's
Wow.
piano, is a great genre of music. And this came from
Yes.
TikTok, because on TikTok there are quite a lot of these
Wow.
challenges, and everyone is
Mm,
into that. So that's also content creation on its own,
mm,
where South Africa, or Africa as a whole, is now
mm.
meeting with, I don't know,
Beautiful.
North South America, or different continents.
Beautiful.
It
Yeah.
it's almost like we can relate to each other.
Mm.
The music, the food, everything. It just explodes. I
So,
mean, it's amazing to watch. It's amazing.
wow.
Yeah. So each platform has its own,
Oh,
sort of, yeah, but it's all
amazing.
the same thing, because it brings people together, and
Mm.
entertains us.
Mm. I
Yeah.
love this. You're so right that the world has become borderless.
Mm,
A few months ago, I also had, now she's like a friend of mine. I literally saw her on Netflix in a documentary, and her story resonated with me. I DM'd her. In fact, she was one of the guests for the full Kalida series, Osaru, and we now, just friends. And because again, we relate just on so many things spiritually.
right.
But just for me, I was reflecting on that. I was like, I can't believe how small the world. You can see somebody on Netflix, a documentary that was shot at a different part of the world. You reach out, and here you guys are connected. I mean, Dandi, you were already in the States. We both from KZN, but it
Right.
took going to the States to
Right.
actually be able to connect. And you're right, all of these different platforms, I think the why they're so powerful because they all are giving us some sweet spot of somewhere,
Mm,
and really uniting the world and making us a global village in some way.
right.
But, I'm always curious though, and maybe, before we involve the audience, I want to just explore this question. Um, you remember growing up, I mean, you would remember we grew up, especially in South Africa, before even DSTV. I mean, about Netflix, or even something that came later
Yeah.
on. We had um, cable TV, or like we had SABC One, SABC Two, SABC Three,
Mnet.
with Mnet, but Mnet only also
Showed
came
on
when
Sunday. at 5 to 7.
5, exactly, unless if you had, I think, the connecting channel,
Right.
but we had 3 channels,
Mm-hmm.
and so all of us were consuming content, the same content, but also it meant, because this content is part of the bigger broadcasting network, it meant it went through particular channels. You couldn't just create any kind of content, because also as a broadcasting channel, they have an ethical responsibility to create content that upholds certain societal values, right? But now, in this world of content creation and everyone kind of creating from a place of authenticity and whatever they want, um, do you think there is some level of responsibility that content creators should still hold, in terms of making sure that somehow the content that they create um, still contributes positively to society, that it isn't the kind of content that is going to cause further harm? What are your thoughts on that?
I think we have, as content creators, we have
Mm.
responsibility, because the sole reason why you create content is because you want an audience. So which
Mm.
are sort of responsible for what you ship to the audience, because
Sure.
it's, as we mentioned, it's so accessible, which means
Mm.
youngsters could be watching or listening to you and what you say, and because they feed off of you on such a regular basis, it's almost like somebody whispering in your ears constantly. And if you are
Mm.
feeding off something that is negative, obviously people are going to be receiving negativity, and you
Mm.
might impact negatively on the people. So I think we have quite a huge responsibility. um
Mm.
you can't abuse the power just because people are following you, because
Mm.
at the end of the day, we all just regular human beings, and the reason why we are having this conversation is because you thought
Yeah.
my content was something you could relate to. So I can't be abusing that power, and seem now,
Mm.
because you are listening to me, I can say
Mm.
whatever I want to say, and then you,
Sure.
because as much as you might say, oh, I'm not taking to what she's saying, but the fact that it's almost like the devil, whispering
Yeah.
constantly something.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I think we have quite a huge responsibility, and we should
Sure.
always be mindful of the things that we ship out, because
Mm.
like hearing somebody, I'm sorry for being mostly negative, but it's
Mm.
like ukuhlala nomuntu othukayo njalo ugcina sowuthuka,
Yeah.
because it's
Mm.
you constantly hear. So I think we definitely have quite a huge role. We can influence it in a positive way, because
Yes. I love that.
it's we given that platform. The Lord has trusted us with that platform to be able
Sure.
to communicate with people.
Mm.
So I think we should take responsibility, and we
Sure.
should build more than to negate and encourage, because
Mm.
we have that power, because
Mm.
everyone can access it. And it's so weird, because literally we moved from just Mnet or ETV to everyone has data, because even having
Sure.
data home, I remember when I was in South Africa the last time, there's this thing called MTN Momo, where you get like an hour of data,
Mm.
hour, so you have access, it's not like
Sure.
can't access. So we need to make sure that whatever we ship out, is the right content, because
Yeah.
of the responsibility that comes with it. So I definitely think we do, and yeah.
So well answered, and so brilliant.
Mm.
Hope the other content creators are listening. I would love to just now take some questions. I see we have Lindela in the background who's just helping us with some questions. So Ntando, there's some questions from the audience that I'll read out so that everyone can hear them, and then you can just share with us your thoughts on that. So
Okay.
the first question is. My question is for Ntando. How did she get over or manage self-doubt, if she had any, when it came to starting her YouTube journey? I think that's a good question. Yeah.
I think that's a great question,
Yeah.
but it's almost like diving in. That's literally the that's
Yeah.
that's it's difficult. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I just did it. You just have to do it. It wasn't easy. It was on my first video on my YouTube. I made a video and then I only posted it 2 years later. And I was explaining the video. Uguti, this is what happened 2 years later, and now 2 years later, I am here, and so much has happened. So it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one. But I think what motivated me was Uguti, I knew I had established in my head, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this page. It's not going to be just me introducing myself and then after that I don't know what the follow-up videos are going to be. I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what I was doing before I jumped into the YouTube space. So motivation, that would motivate you to think to think, okay, next time when I come onto the platform, I have this to do. And, it almost sort of becomes natural the more you do it. It's not start. But if this is exactly what I want to do, it gave me that sort of cushion. Okay, I know after I doubt myself, I stumble on this first video, there's another video that's going to come and I'll get better at it. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know what word, like you have a word in your head and then all of a sudden. But you go on, you tell people it happens. I'm new in this whole space, and I'm hoping my video will inspire somebody else to just do it. But we're allowed to make mistakes. That's the difference between Uber on TV, where there's a script and phone, where you run the show. So just be nice to yourself. Just ship it, make it short and sweet, 5 minutes, get it out there and sell yourself. Take yourself seriously, and people will take you seriously if you take yourself serious. It's not an easy one, but it's doable.
That's so beautiful. And you said something earlier in our conversation about authenticity and starting from a place of your truth. I think that's that thing where if you your intention is pure, even if it's difficult, you will always return to that, because any journey, like I remember I have stories for days about putting my book out there in the world, and the journey of self-doubt and I remember watching a what do they call it, a commencement speech that Uchimamanda gave.
Okay.
I felt like that is what God wanted me to hear. It was a commencement speech, I think, at Yale. And she spoke about the multifaceted nature of greatness or reaching a dream. Sometimes it's okay to go through moments of depression. It's okay to go through it's like that, and that released me. But I think always returning to the why, grounds you. It's okay, I did this because of this. So yeah. But guys, start. If Ntando had not started her YouTube channel, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be having this conversation. If I had never written my book, we literally would not be having this conversation. And I'm a fundamental believer that action is never wasted, because the language of our world, the language of the universe is movement. That we don't know what this conversation is going to do, but I know that it's going to help somebody. I know for a fact.
That's
yeah. All right, cool. Question number 2. And Ntando, what are some of the life-changing things or experiences that have happened since you started your YouTube channel?
Wow, life-changing. I'm not sure. I can safely say that I'm not sure, because I'm one of those people who it takes a while for certain things to kick in as well. So it's almost like, oh, okay, that happened, that's really nice, but you don't realize it's life-changing until somebody's like, hey, that's life-changing. What are some of the things that happened? I think maybe, I guess you could say, recognition I don't know
Mm.
what recognition it is. And what value do you place on the recognition itself? We just
Yeah,
recognition is actually life changing. Um,
sure.
to be honest, let me just be very, very honest.
Mm.
Um, I wouldn't say much. A lot of life changing things have happened,
Mhm.
because I wish I could have done more with my YouTube. I wish I would like put more
And-
effort and energy into, to feel like there's a huge life changing ordeal or whatever. But I
Mm.
can safely say that once you have a YouTube platform or a YouTube
Yes,
channel, there's so much
yes,
you can do. There's
yes,
so much you can do. There are so
yes.
many people who
Mm.
you can engage with, and
Mm.
yes, it opens so many doors, because you
Yeah.
don't know the type of people who are watching your content. You
Mm.
you literally just what's it you put yourself out there, and then
Yeah.
for people to accept you. And in
Mm.
that acceptance, there's quite a lot that happens. I mean, even
Yeah.
on your, it's not just YouTube. People will look for you on Instagram. People will look for you on
Yes.
TikTok. So
That's
if you're
so
planning
true.
on
Yeah.
God, it's eye opening, or it's
Yeah.
amazing to have a
Yeah.
lot of people, think, oh, okay, 'cause I'm just a regular person who just happened to move to another country. It's not like it's the greatest thing, but for
Mm.
other people, it's like, okay, I would love to move there, and maybe then my
Mm.
journey has been the biggest thing that has happened, because they are
Mm.
now, oh, okay, maybe I should move to this country. It's not as bad as I thought it is.
Mm.
Because just to move a little bit further in this thought that I have, I always thought the United States was just a lot of New York buildings, but you get to see quite a lot. To go see, these people are actually normal human beings. So if you're
Yeah.
moving elsewhere, it's doable. Maybe taking
Mm.
it in, but just to also make a point to go to
Yeah.
South, beautiful country. I don't know where this is fitting into this whole thing, but there are challenges. But I don't know. I don't know. I hope a part of what I said answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, well answered. And then there's a question here around what does she think her life would look like today if she never started content creation?
And creation.
I think you touch on it a bit, but maybe you can in your previous answer, but maybe you can wrap up on it. Yeah.
So what my life would have been like if I hadn't touched
What
on content creation.
yeah, what does she think her life would look like today if she never started content creation?
I mean, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be engaging with you guys. I wish
Mm,
actually I was, answering right now. I wouldn't
yeah,
be with you guys. I wouldn't have learned Uguti, just by taking a leap of faith, just by
yeah,
doing little thing, people recognize you, because you honestly,
yeah,
you have brands that want, to have you advertise for them. And
yes,
the
yes.
power now to say, okay, this is how I do things. This is,
Mm,
you become a business, basically. You have to
mm,
create your own packages. If you have packages for your Instagram or your TikTok, whatever
mm,
platform that you feel you're on. So a lot of it gives you a lot of opportunities to be able to engage with people that you never thought that you would engage with, and you learn
mm,
merging different platforms,
mm,
trying to sort of continue to have a discourse with your initial audience. So
mm.
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think also the questions, I'm a my brain is a little bit like overly stimulated, but I wouldn't be here just to answer that question.
Yes,
I wouldn't be here engaging with
yeah,
you. I appreciate it. You appreciate the people who look at a stranger and think, Uguti, oh, they give comments, Uguti, oh, you're doing such a great job. And when you're in
yeah.
front of a camera and you just say what you want to say, and
Mm,
accept the public. So you get to engage with quite a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's amazing on its own.
That's for me, and I mean, Lynn's is saying there's a comment here, ladies. This conversation was so real. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I think the one of the reasons why I really just wanted to reach out to you was that realness, that your channel, it seems to you like, oh, I'm just documenting my life in the US, but it takes courage,
Mm,
Dando, to put yourself out there in any format. As you said, you're an artist.
mm,
And one of my favorite thinkers, Sir John Haggerty, when posed the question, "What is the greatest of all art forms? Is it music? Is it fine arts? Is it dance? Is it literature?" He said, "Life.
mm,
Life is the greatest of all art forms, because all of these different art forms, because now digital content creation, I mean, it's a business, it's an art form, it's a science, it depends on how you utilize it. But essentially, the inspiration comes from life,
right.
um, itself, and it takes incredible courage to put yourself out there. I mean, as I mentioned with my book, I remember I thought I'll write my book, and then I didn't factor in that my colleagues and my family are going to read the book. I was like,
Mm,
I wanted the world, the other people, like, oh shucks, people are going to know what I think.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awkward. It's really awkward. But it is such an incredibly fulfilling journey. You, again, to your point, the incredible humans that you meet
Mm,
on that journey. So, Danda, I'm so grateful. I know we literally almost out of time. I don't see any more questions. I would like to just maybe before we close out, to the guys. Again, thinking in full color, as I mentioned, this platform was inspired by my book. If you want to get the book and you're outside South Africa, you can find it on Amazon. It's available as an ebook, as a black and white, but it's a color book. The preference would be for you to buy the color one. And then in South Africa, you can get it on my platform, signed copies, www.penthevision.co.za. I'll ask Lindela to just write that, the website, and also on the Al Kabulan Authors platform. You can find it in South Africa and in the continent. I'm so grateful to every single person who just dialed in.
mm.
Um, if you guys have any concluding thoughts or questions, you can share them. But I would love Dando to share any concluding thoughts she has, and then I'll release everybody to continue with their evening, their day. And Siswam Ngiyabonga. Thank you for just being here and sharing your incredible insights, your wisdom. I loved the way you deliver ideas in such a profound but yet so relatable way. And guys, please follow Ntando's channel. We've got to get her subscribers on my name so that the
So
kaching
morning.
can come.
Yeah.
But are there any concluding thoughts from your side, sis?
Yes. So, firstly, thank you so much for inviting me. When somebody invites you, you feel like this person really wants to hear what I have to say about something. So, you might be thinking,
Yeah.
oh, who invited me,
Mm.
and for responding, but actually I am so honored to be here because I don't even have a book, Mina, and you have a book, and it's even on Amazon. So what would you
Yeah.
do for me? But I'm just grateful. Oguti, you also so very down to earth. Like, I'm still a novice in the whole thing, but you are very receptive. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you, and I wish you all the best. I pray that you grow, and you just grow and grow and grow and grow. So to you, everyone must subscribe to this channel. I'm pushing you. Everyone must subscribe to this channel. Also, to the people that have tuned in, thank you so much.
Yes.
I was advertising it, and um,
Yes.
I was thinking people are like, about it, like people are like, it's a Thursday. You think Uguti, with load shedding and everything that we have going on, we have time to.
Mm.
But thank you so much to everyone who has taken the time to, be a part,
Yeah.
ask questions, because you put yourself out there by asking a question, and I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. Um, South Africa is an amazing country. I wanted to add that there. South Africa is an amazing country. I think being away from home is sort of like overrated. People think, well, Wuti, it's so glamorous. You out there, but actually you leave and you out in the wilderness. And thank God for my family, because we are a pack, and whatever we do, siyalandelana.
Yes.
So we have it good in South Africa. I can't wait to be home. Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate this. Yeah, I think it was a great conversation that we had. I learned something from you. You are a very smart lady, and I think you're going far. I think you shouldn't stop. Please, let's invite people and make this thing big. I really, really
make this thing big. Thank you. Wow.
yeah.
I love this final comment from Usi Mhlongo. It's like, so proud of you, Sam. Wishing you all the best in the US of A. Good luck on finding a replacement for Chicken Licken.
Always our back. So she always says you don't have it. I'll find it one day. I'll find it. I will find
nothing better.
I will ship it one day.
And see, Danae was like, love the conversation, ladies. Thank you, guys. Alrighty, enjoy, everybody. Love you all, and take care. Siswam. Enjoy your day with the rest of your day, that side of the world, and be blessed.
Thank you. You too. Have a blessed evening, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
Alrighty, bye.